Marriage is hard, but because your marriage is hard does not give you a license to divorce your spouse. We've been so accustomed to walking away from what makes us uncomfortable that we forget we make promises at the altar to each other. There is no marriage that is easy, and what you get out of that marriage is the result of what you invest into that marriage. God never promised that marriage would be easy. God never promised that you would like your spouse every single day.
So what I've come to realize is that the fact that someone is talking slowly and with dignity doesn't necessarily mean that what they're saying is wise. True wisdom lies in knowing when to apply certain types of advice to certain situations. So the advice that works for one particular situation will not work for another situation. My question is this: does marriage really, really have to be hard? I understand the angle of two people that are different on so many levels coming together and trying to merge into one unit. It can be difficult, it can be overwhelming, it can be stressful, but where there is mutual respect and mutual effort being put in by both parties to understand each other and to go beyond, what one, is comfortable with or what one has been groomed into by society, and coming to a place where you're like, what is the truth? What is right? What is just? What is fair? So if one party alone is expected to keep making sacrifices and keep trying to patch things and keep, choosing not to walk away, while the other party is stuck in their own way and they're like, I am not willing to negotiate. I am not willing to look at your own side of the story. This is how it has always been and this is how it will be. Then that is not a marriage. That marriage or that relationship is not worth keeping. People go into businesses, for example, or into partnerships because they want to get something good out of it. And even the Bible itself, because my audience is mostly Christian, the Bible itself says, can two work together except they agree? For agreement to happen, there needs to be mutual compromise. And it's not compromise on things that are most important. There are values, there are things that are non-negotiable. When it comes to human rights and a whole lot of other things, those ones are not negotiable. You're not going to expect someone to give up their right for peace to reign. No. But when it comes to minor things, people can always fall for each other. So when a partnership comes to a place where if you're working alone, you are actually benefiting more than when you are working with it, that partner, then is that partnership worth it? That's the question that we need to be asking here. And when he says that people always get what they invest into their relationships, that's actually not the case, because women do not get what they actually invest in relationships for the most part, especially in our patriarchal societies. Women invest their names, they begin to answer a husband's name. So by answering the husband's name, does it elevate her in any way? You see a woman that has made a name for herself, she's an actress, she's, a top government official, she will step down. So even if they call that name, if she does not attach her name to it, nobody knows it's her. So a lot of women give up that and they don't get back in return what they invested. Now, are we talking about women's bodies, time, emotions, careers, and everything? Women give up a whole lot of things. Go and check a woman that gives birth. She's never really returns to who she used to be. Yes, some of us are able to, exercise and all that and manage our bodies, but our bodies never really return to the same. For women, marriage is a sacrifice. It is men actually that benefit from marriage because they have more people answering their name. They have a healthier body because they have a woman nurturing them, giving them sex at the snap of a finger. They have more time to pursue their own careers and interests. And even as they're pursuing those careers and interests, they have a woman who is in the background doing all their menial job, making sure that their clothes are ironed and they're looking good and dapper and all that. And then on top of it, women are offering free career advice and even, rooting for them and telling them, oh, you got this, you can do it. And when they're upset and they're frustrated, they have someone to vent to, and, women are their solid emotional support. And at the end of it all, because of all the sacrifice the women are doing in the background, those men begin to experience, career advancement. Right? So it is men that actually benefit from that. And if that is the case, why is it that we are still having this conversation of you get all this? Why not treat your wife the same way? They know what they can get from marriage. So they should be able to know what to do to make sure that their wives get the same. So if you're married, the marriage is remaining chronically hard, it's not because the man doesn't know what he needs to do. He knows what he needs to do and he knows the sacrifice it involves and he's not willing to do it. He's just going to pretend that it is trivial things that is the matter in the marriage. Oh, she talks too much, she complains too much, this and that. Every man out there, they know because they know what they want from their wives. So if you know what you want, what will make you feel good, why is it so hard for men, most men, to do the same for their wives. So if God never promised that marriage will be easy, he never also promised that it was going to be abusive or draining, right? Because that was not his original intent for marriage. When God decided to set up the institution of marriage, he was envisioning a mutually beneficial relationship. And that's why the Bible says two is better than one, because they get more reward for their labor. And then they also keep each other warm. So if only one person is trying to cuddle up in a bed or whatever, they're not going to feel warm enough. So there'll be times when you are alone, but companionship makes your life warm and beautiful. It also, the Bible also says that if one person falls, the other can, help them up. So that is it. It is a mutual thing. If you stumble, someone is there to catch you. And if they stumble, you are there to catch them. He also says that one shall chase 1,000 and two shall chase 10,000, which means if you are thriving in your business, in your career, and in every area of your life, if you bring in another person, or if you and another person team up, your life is supposed to, you know, exponentially become better. And so should it be for the other party. That's God's original plan for marriage. So if you're saying that God didn't say that it's going to be easy, of course, good things don't come easy, especially in a fallen world like ours. But at the same time, there should be obvious advancement for both parties in that relationship. And if it is not advancing, then there needs to be a discussion on whether that partnership is worthwhile or not. Because even the Bible says that we should not throw our pearls to swine. So don't throw your efforts at somebody that is not willing to make efforts to make that relationship work. If you're the only one that is stressing and crying and fasting and praying every night for somebody to change, don't even bother. Save your breath, save your pearls, and make arrangements to exit that toxic environment.